right, we're back. Luke from Empire Universe Podcast, and we are back, and we are going to be doing the UFC 264. It's like a pre-fight show. I never wanted to call it that, but I did promote it that way. So I guess I'll just continue to call it the UFC 264 predictions. Now, mind you, started with some of the difficulties with my camera, my internet. I'm a little late. Just been having some issues with my internet, and just it's slowing everything down. It's a little frustrating, but we're here. We're back, and we're ready to go here. So I'm just gonna pick up all the get all the matchups here, and we'll get started. All right. I'm just going to get it up here. In the meanwhile, how are you guys doing? Leave your comments below. You can put anything you like. Do anything you want. Put anything you want on there. And, yeah. Perfect. Okay. So I'm just going to go back to StreamYard here for a second. Okay, perfect. Okay. Okay. If I can view, and I'm not. It's not really working out for me at the moment. And this is kind of the things that kind of fuck up, unfortunately. Okay, I think we're good. You guys, let me know how the screen looks, how everything kind of looks. Just let me know how it looks, and just leave those comments down below. Again, there's some issues going on with my internet, so if it seems like it's lagging or it's really slow, let me know. Again, leave a comment in the description, or just put a comment in the comment section, and we'll get started. Now, I was going to start off with the main card, but it doesn't appear to be. It doesn't appear that I should just do the main card. I'm going to do one fight from the early prelims, which is Jennifer Maia and Jessica Ai, and then I will move on to one or two fights in the prelims, and then we're going to do the entire card. Sound good? All right. Okay. So, all right, we're starting off with Jennifer Maia and Jessica Ai for women's flyweight bout. Jennifer Maia is number 4 ranked, and Jessica Ai is number 7 ranked. Did I say Jennifer Maia, sorry. So with Jennifer Maia and Jessica Ai, this is an interesting fight. Nothing against Jessica Ai. I think Jennifer Maia's grappling is going to be there, which she really showed in the Shevchenko fight. I was really impressed, but I feel, and I'm not trying to ride the Valentina train, but I do feel like Valentina was a little rusty in that fight, whereas versus her and Jessica Andrade, who everybody thought Jessica Andrade was going to give her a really tough fight, which not at any point was it really a tough fight for her. But with Jennifer Maia, she really showcased her grappling, at least on someone like Valentina, who was really rusty in that fight. I mean, anything can kind of happen in this fight. And to be honest, with the flyweight division, it's not fully developed. I know some people are going to say that it sucks. I'm not going to say it's going to suck because I don't believe in that. It's just not fully developed yet. And that being said, it hasn't had time to grow. She hasn't had any fight since. So she should win this fight. It might, in a good fashion. I mean, a finish and really looks professional. Looks really, really good. This could potentially be. I can't talk today. Potentially be a fight that could put her back in that title contention. So looking at this fight, I think Jennifer Maia is really going to use her wrestling as she normally does, or her grappling. Sorry. And if she can put Jessica down on the mat, I mean, it could be all over for Jessica. But that being said, Jessica I mean, she might throw something in there that Jennifer hasn't seen, and it is a 3-round fight, so they're gonna lay it all out for 3 rounds. So Jessica we're gonna have to see what happens with her. I know she's had some medical things going on, but I mean, it would appear that she's had that all cleared up since her last fight, and she looks like she's ready to go for another fight. But if I had to go with this matchup, I'm gonna have to go with Jennifer Maia, just with the grappling aspect. I haven't watched Jennifer Maia I haven't watched her fight that much, other than her previous fight before the Shevchenko fight, and then the Shevchenko fight. Jessica I've seen her fight a little bit. Her last fight, she lost. Or I'm not sure if she lost or if she won. I can't remember exactly. Okay. But I think her last fight was Joanne Calderwood. And I think she did lose that fight. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think she lost that fight against Joanne Calderwood, and Joanne Calderwood won that fight. And a lot of people did not like that fight, but you can't like every fight. Okay, so I did say I was just gonna do a couple fights. I know there's a lot of other good fights down here. I mean, the whole card. If you're not a casual, it's a great whole card together. There's a lot of fights down here that I really like, but I don't want to stay on here forever. So I kind of had to pick and choose. I really want to do the Ryan Hall fight, but I have to move on. Nico Price and Michel Pereira for welterweight belt. This is also going to be one of those insane fucking fights. And I had to throw the fucking in there because it really is going to be an insane fucking fight. If you look at Nico Price and Michel Pereira, Nico Price has these weird knockouts, and Michel Pereira is just one of those showmen, man. And Michel Pereira, I mean, he's something. He's unique. But I think after the Connolly fight, I think he's really kind of slowed down with all the showboating and all the crazy shit. So we're gonna have to see what happens with him. But I mean, he's still showing some cool stuff, and I think he's really maturing as a fighter. Now, Nico Price, he's another guy that's getting better and better. He's had some tough fights, but Nico Price, man, he's definitely getting up there, and the way he knocks people out is just insane. I think he knocked out Randy. I forget his name. Randy. I'm just gonna say this because that's the only way I can describe him. But he's black, so Randy. If you can give me his last name in the description, that'd be great, or in the comments, that'd be great. Randy Brown. Sorry, I got it. Randy Brown. So he got Randy Brown knocked out from the bottom, I believe, and he knocked out I'm James Vick, and he knocked out James Vick from the ground too. It's just insane what the guy can do. So this is one of those fights where I really don't want to pick a winner because I like both guys. So I don't know. I really don't want to see both guys lose. But that being said, there has to be a winner, and I mean it could be a draw too. I could see a draw happening as well. I think I'm allowed to say there could be a draw. So, looking at this fight, I don't know. It's a really tough one. Now, Nico Price is plus 144 with the Vegas odds. Michel Pereira is the favorite, minus 177. I'm actually kind of surprised. I kind of thought that Nico Price was going to be more the favorite, just with all the crazy shit that he does in the octagon. But Michel Pereira, I mean, but I also can understand why he's the favorite too. So, I mean, I can understand both ways, but looking at this fight, I want it to be a draw because I like both guys, but if I really have to give out a winner, I think it's going to be Michel Pereira. Michel Pereira is going to be the winner. I'm going to go with... Actually, I'm not going to give a round. I'm just going to say he's going to win. He's going to win by whatever he wants, okay? Moving on. Natural born killer Carlos Condit versus Max Griffin. in a welterweight bout, another welterweight bout. Carlos Condit's coming in at plus 150, and Max Griffin coming in at minus 190. I can kind of understand why. Carlos Condit is really up there as a veteran. And Max Griffin's really coming in, and he's looking good. If you don't know Max Griffin, he's the one that fucking tore the guy's ear off. Or he didn't tear, but the guy's ear was like dangling. He's like, oh my God. So, I mean, Max Griffin's just an animal in there. He's awesome. But Carlos Condit, man, I don't think he's ever been knocked out. The man has never been knocked out. He's been submitted, but he's never been knocked out. Can Max Griffin put the puzzles together and knock the natural born killer out? We're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens there. It would be definitely interesting to see if he can. And I don't know. We shall see what happens. Okay, so I just wanted to cover a couple of those fights. I want to get into the main card right away. This is the pay-per-view card. Let's go right to the bottom here. All right. First fight on the card, Sugar Sean O'Malley, and Chris Mutahano. I apologize, Chris, if I get your name wrong. This is a bantamweight bout, of course. I think Chris wanted it at featherweight, but they got it bantamweight. So I wonder if that's going to affect his weight cut, because it's kind of a short notice thing. Maybe that's why they wanted it at featherweight. I'm not sure if that's what he normally fights at. So we're going to see how that's going to affect this fight. Now, Sean O'Malley, there's no introduction needed for him. I mean, he does what he does. He's amazing. I don't know a lot about Chris, and I feel bad because I didn't do a lot of research on him. But I've heard that he's been doing a killing in the organization that he was under. We're definitely going to see what happens. It's a big opportunity for Chris. And if he could beat Sean O'Malley, I mean, that would really be a good introduction to the UFC bantamweight division, or if he goes up to featherweight, whatever he's doing. But this is also this is also a really good fight for Sean because he's coming in as the UFC vet. He has a number of fights under his belt now, whereas Chris is kind of the newcomer. Now, Chris mentioned something about him being him fighting tough guys. And he said, I wanted to fight the tough guys because by the time I get to the UFC, every guy there is tough. And it makes sense. And I think that's really smart on his part. So I'm not counting this Chris guy out. But he is fighting Sugar Sean O'Malley, who his striking is just on another level. Like, you've got to wonder, like, who's going to be able to figure out that puzzle. I know that he lost against Marlon Vieira, but I don't know if that was I don't want to say a legit win, but was it a legit win? I mean, I think the guy hurt his leg, and then of course, what can you do in that fight? I mean, you just stop fighting. It's really difficult to win that way. So we're definitely going to see what's going to happen there. But that being said, with this fight, with Sean O'Malley and Chris, I don't want to say his name again because I feel I'm going to fuck it up. But Sean O'Malley and Chris Mutahano, I think that's it. I think that's the most realistic that it sounds. Okay, Mutahano. I think Sugar Sean's got it. He is at Vegas odds minus 835, understandably so. With Chris being plus 220, 525, understandably so. I think Sean O'Malley is definitely going to win this fight. First round, second round, TKO. Moving on. Okay, I just accidentally clicked on that. My apologies. Actually, you know what? We're going to do it this way. All right. If I can get Irene and Yana up here. Okay. I really don't want to do it this way because UFC said, okay, we got it. Okay. I really didn't want to do it this way because it gets really slow. But what? Okay. For the bantamweight division, you got Irene Aldana, number 4 ranked, and Yana Kunitsaya, number 5. It's kind of weird. I didn't think Irene was number 4. I thought Yana was closer to the title contention. I thought that Irene was higher up. I don't know why. I don't know who she beat to get to that spot. She didn't. I don't think she beat Holly Holm. I think Holly Holm beat her in her last fight. So maybe that's what it was. I can't remember now. Okay. So looking at this fight, um, Irene, I haven't seen her fight a lot, which is a little unfortunate. But she's getting better, and that's one big thing I have seen with her. She's getting better. Yana, it's the same thing. Since she's gotten the UFC, she's gotten a lot better. Um, Yana, she's a former champ, and she knows what it means to be a champion. She obviously hung in there with Cyborg, but obviously, with anyone with Cyborg, that's hard to beat that puzzle. But I think Yana's going to use a lot of her grappling in this fight, of course. That's her bread and butter. I think she's going to use a lot of grappling, try to tie her up in the clinch and use a lot of clinch strikes. Irene's probably going to want to throw for sure. And Yana's probably going to use that clinch a lot. Now, the question is how she's going to implement that. I think if she can get a hold of Irene, that's going to be her bread and butter all night. And she's going to start really throwing those clinch strikes, maybe throwing a lot of strikes to the abdomen. We're going to see what she's going to do there. I think she's definitely going to want to piece Irene up, but it's a 3-round fight too. So it's not that she hasn't done this in a 3-round fight before, but it is a 3-round fight. So whether or not she wants to keep it right in the clinch the 3 rounds, or she's going to maybe beat her down the first round and then really expose her in the second, we're going to see. But I'm going to go with Yana Kunitsaya for this fight. Okay, moving on. This might take a second, so bear with me. Oh, no, this moved up pretty quickly. Great. So we got the heavyweight division, Bam Bam, Tai Tuivasa, and Prince of War, Greg Hardy. This is kind of another step-up fight for Greg Hardy. Now, with Greg, I gotta say, props to him. He stepped in to fight Alexander Volkov, and a lot of people say he didn't do too bad. But mind you, I think Alexander Volkov probably could have fought a little bit better. Greg Hardy's got some power for sure. I mean, he's a heavyweight. He's an athlete. He played in the NFL for quite a few years. So he's an athlete, and he throws hard, and most heavyweights do, and that's for the exception of Francis Ngannou, who nobody can withstand that power. He put the former champ away. So everyone has a chance to get knocked out, and that's why heavyweights are so exciting, at least for the first round. Then we see what happens after. But looking at this fight, obviously the stats aren't showing up, which is kind of shitty. There we go. So it's coming up now. You got Greg Hardy, 7-3, 1 no contest. I didn't like the way that they threw these guys on the main card. I didn't feel like that was right compared to other people that should have been on the main card. And I'm trying my best not to say anything against Greg Hardy. Props to him, and it's nothing against him. I do feel like maybe, he's not ranked. Tai Tuivasa, I understand he's really put in his time. Greg Hardy, I understand, him coming from NFL. They really want to hype him up. I just don't think that was really fair to other fighters, and it's nothing against him. I just feel like it was probably, they could have thrown another fight on there. He could easily been the prelim, feature prelim. I could understand that, but they shouldn't have thrown him on the main card like that. I think there's other fights that probably could have gone to the main card, but that's okay. That's what they're just trying to do. They're trying to sell the card, and that's just my 2 cents for the day. Okay, so looking at this fight, definitely Tai Tuivasa has a lot more of the experience, but not by much. It's not like he has 30 pro fights underneath him. I mean, he's got 15 fights, and Greg Hardy's got 11. So Tai Tuivasa is not coming in with a whole lot of experience advantage. Now, I don't know if he has a lot of amateur fights underneath him. So we got to see what happens. But looking at this fight, I mean, Greg Hardy's got has all the reach. He's got the height, and he's got the reach. By Tai Tuivasa, man, like he gets your hands on you. It's good. It's good night. Again, I explained that it is a heavyweight division, so anything can happen. But looking at this fight, I mean, Tai Tuivasa looked really good in his last fight. Now, mind you, his opponent Harry Hunsucker came in on short notice, but Tai Tuivasa still looked good. The other guy had every advantage to win the fight too, other than he came on short notice, so that's difficult. But Tai Tuivasa, I mean, he's coming in, he's looking good lately, and I think that he has every advantage to get Greg Hardy. But Greg Hardy's cardio is not good. And I know that apparently he's had some breathing issues. I don't know if that's legit. I know they had the incident with him in the inhaler. Okay, I'm not trying to hate on Greg Hardy here, okay? I'm not trying to hate on him, okay? There's nothing. I'm not trying to be biased. I'm just trying to explain both guys here, okay? But I know a lot of people are like, yeah, hate on Greg Hardy. Yeah. Okay, so I'm not doing that, okay? I'm just explaining both fighters. Greg Hardy's done really, really well. And I think he's done a lot better than people probably gave him credit for. Going right from, he had almost his first debut fight in the UFC. So I mean, he's really come a long way as a heavyweight. Again, he's an athlete. He knows, he was already in probably half decent shape. Being an NFL player. NFL players are relatively can be in pretty good shape. So looking at him, I mean, it's just kind of one of those fights where if Greg Hardy can beat Tai Tuivasa, it would do a lot for his career. But if Tai Tuivasa wins, will he get a top 15 guy? I do see Tai Tuivasa probably winning this fight, but I would not guarantee a first round TKO, especially with a guy like Greg Hardy on the feet. But is he going to take him to the ground and utilize that wrestling? That would be a question now that Greg Hardy's shown some holes in his game. But has he been working a lot on his ground game? There's the question there. Is he going to work on his defense? There's a big question there. So we're definitely going to see how this fight goes. But I think Tai Tuivasa has this fight. I think he's going to win this fight. I can't say knockout for sure. But I think he's definitely got this fight. Okay, so we're going to move on to the co-main event. All right. So we got Gilbert Burns and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson for the welterweight bout. And this is number 2 ranked Gilbert Burns and number 4 ranked Stephen Thompson. This is a great fight. It's a really great matchup. It's 2 different totally styles. Gilbert Burns is, I wonder if he's going to come in and pressure Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Because, I mean, Stephen's got a lot of movement that he has to use with his legs, with his kicks. But is he going to catch Gilbert Burns? Can he catch Gilbert Burns the way, is he going to use a lot of those jabs and a lot of those crossover punches? I mean, we're going to see what happens there. Burns, he's coming off a loss. He fought his buddy, the champ, in his last fight and got knocked out. It was very emotional. Sometimes that can really get to your head. But both these guys have got about the same amount of experience. They're both pretty matched up. Stephen's got a little bit more of the reach, of course. And that's actually going to play a lot into his advantage. But I feel like Gilbert gets a hold of him. I mean, I think Gilbert, one shot. I mean, Stephen's been shown to really get chinny. I think his title bouts with the former champ, I mean, definitely that I don't know if that's really shocked his chin a lot, or is it, he just been unfortunate. We're going to see. I mean, he got knocked out by Anthony Pettis back a couple years ago. So we're definitely going to see where Stephen Thompson is, but he looked really good against Vicente Luque. I think that was his last bout, if I'm not mistaken. No, sorry, no. That wasn't his last fight. He had a main fight with Jeff Neal. He looked great. I mean, Jeff Neal got some good shots in, but he looked great. I think if he wins this fight, I mean, this puts him in title contention. It has to. I know Kamaru Usman wanted Michael Chiesa for whatever reason. I mean, the guy's like ranked 6. Like, for whatever fucking reason, he wants Michael Chiesa, which is not really cool. I mean, you're skipping, Gilbert Burns. I mean, obviously he comes off a win, but he's skipping Gilbert Burns, Stephen Thompson. I mean, he just beat Jorge Masvidal. He's skipping Colby. I mean, Colby should get that fight as well. So there's a lot of good guys in here. There's a lot of different matchups. But with this fight kind of forming now, and then you got Colby, who's probably going to get that next title shot. If Steven should win this fight, he should get the next title shot. And then maybe Gilbert or maybe Colby, depending on what the outcome is with all that, we'll see what happens. I think Michael Chiesa would have to get one more win and then maybe get the title shot, possibly, depending on who he beats. But looking at this fight, this is a great fight. And Stephen Thompson, I think Stephen Thompson has got the tools to beat him. I think he's just too damn tricky, and I don't think Gilbert's really fought a guy like him. So I think Stephen Thompson, second round TKO or decision, I think. All right, we get the main event. We got number 1 ranked lightweight, the Diamond, Dustin Poirier, and number 5 ranked, the notorious Conor McGregor. First off, I just want to say, are they going to update Conor's picture? Like, that was from, like, fucking 5 years ago. Okay? That was, like, from, like, 5 years ago. Are they going to update his picture? But anyway, enough of that. I mean, at least Dustin Poirier's got an updated picture. Okay. So looking at this matchup, I mean, I don't think there's really any introductions needed for these guys. We all know who they are. They're both very well skilled. Dustin's boxing is just unreal. I think he really implemented that in the second fight with Conor. Obviously, those calf kicks were pretty much the story of that fight. Right away from the first round to the second, the calf kicks were definitely the story. But you know what? I mean, it just all depends on how much Conor wants to win this fight. Okay, so Conor hasn't been looking the greatest, and that's just facts. But Dustin was good enough to give him that third fight because it was 1-1. Now, if you're looking at, let's just look at their stats here. Conor's definitely got the reach advantage. He's had most reach advantages over his opponents, like, with the exception of Nate Diaz, and I think maybe when he went up to welterweight against Donald Cerrone, possibly. But besides that, he's had the reach advantage over most of his opponents. But that was not a problem for Dustin Poirier. And Dustin Poirier, I mean, I don't think he's going to throw his calf kicks this time because I think he mentioned that he thinks that Conor might throw them. And it's definitely going to be interesting what adjustments Conor makes. I think he's going back to that kind of like karate style stance that he's always done. And he had that boxing stance, which made no fucking sense why he did it, other than he was preparing to do some boxing, possibly with Manny Pacquiao or whatever they were trying to do there. But looking at this fight, I mean, Conor, if you can go back to that style, and Dustin, I think, will this fight go longer than last time? Yes, if it's equally balanced and he doesn't knock out Dustin. But as the fight goes on, if Conor's becoming successful, will Dustin go to those calf kicks? And Dustin does get tired. He does slow down a bit. And Conor does too. So are we going to see those 5-round war between Dustin and Conor? It is possible. But Dustin can finish a fight any round. I mean, you can't count the guy out. And Conor, I mean, his power's not going to be the same from round 1 as it is in round 5. We haven't seen Conor go 5 rounds since, I mean, gosh, it would be with Nate Diaz. He has done the boxing with Mayweather and et cetera. But he's been talking about, I got the cardio under control. But we will see. And I would love to see a 5-round fight between these two guys. It would be a great matchup. It would be a great just stand-up war. And I hope Dustin doesn't try to take him down. I would like to see a really good stand-up fight between the two guys, respect to whoever wins. But if I have to go with who's going to win this fight, I think I want to say Conor McGregor. I do, because I feel like he's going to come back and he's definitely gonna win. This fight, I think he's coming in. He wants to be hungry. He knows, maybe he came in a little rusty, whatever, etc. But I mean, now that he's fighting a little bit more frequently, is he gonna, with that new stance, this calf kick's gonna be a problem? We're gonna have to see there. That being said, I think with Conor, he knows he has to win this fight, and that's, I had this conversation with someone at the gym earlier. There's a lot more pressure on Conor. I feel there's a lot of pressure on Conor to win this fight, because if he loses this fight, his stock goes down, and will he get those fights that he wants, and will he return to the octagon? And that is the problem. But if you also look at Dustin Poirier, you gotta look at Dustin Poirier. There's a lot of pressure on him too. Can he implement the same thing? Can he do it again? And that's a lot of pressure on him too. He knows Conor's coming in. It reminds me a little bit about like the Stanley Cup Finals right now. There's a lot of pressure on Tampa to sweep the series, but there's also more pressure on Montreal because they were three games to none. So obviously they won last night. But that being said, so there's pressure on both guys, but I think there's a lot more pressure on Conor. But will that transition and give him more? Will that make him more hungry for this fight? And I think that's really the real question being put into place. Is he going to be more hungry now with having a chance to redeem himself, or not redeem himself, but to redeem himself in this fight and be able to win the third bout? It is very possible. I think Conor has a very good chance. But if I have to really go with my heart, I think Dustin Poirier is going to win this fight. But I think this will be a 5-round fight, and Dustin Poirier is going to win. But we're going to see what happens. This is definitely going to be a good fight. I really hope that it goes 5 rounds, but you can't really choose how it happens. It just is what it is. So we're going to see. But my heart goes to Dustin Poirier. I picked Dustin Poirier. But I wouldn't be surprised if Conor comes in and does get a great win, too. So I'm kind of leaning towards both guys. I'm kind of sitting on the fence. I know I said Dustin Poirier, but Conor McGregor really has a good chance as well. He's a great fighter. He just has to come in hungry, and he's good to go. So I'm going to say either guy has a chance here. But my gut goes with Dustin Poirier. So if you guys enjoyed this pre-fight show, please hit that subscribe button and hit that like, and all the support. It really helps, guys. I really appreciate all the support, and we're gonna see you guys in the next video. Actually, so tomorrow, just FYI before I go, I will have a podcast coming tomorrow. If you haven't seen my feed on my Instagram or Facebook, any social media, Aaron Jeffrey will be joining me tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. I believe. I have to check again. It will not be live, but it will be put on probably the next day. I'm very excited. A lot of people are really looking forward to seeing him on my seeing me interviewing him. So stay tuned for that, guys. And thanks for watching. And you guys stay safe out there and take care, okay? Alrighty. Take care, guys.